Yo, 200, how are you? Fall 2018. We just had Halloween night, so I didn't want you to worry about school and have a good Halloween night. I know it's a lot of fun. My son had a party here last night. He's the drum major for Dana Hills High School, and he had the entire marching band over here. It was awesome. So it's November 1, and it's time to get back to business here and start thinking about some serious stuff. Okay. And so this will be a quick overview of what we're going through right now. We'll start with the readings. Okay. So if we look over here at the course readings, we click right there. Okay. And we see what is on the agenda this week. Okay. And we see this week is all about some serious stuff, economic preparation. We're going to get into the nuts and bolts of it in future weeks right here, okay, which is awesome. We can see we're going to be doing some analysis of retirement investment strategies here. Before we go into that, we just got to go over, again, some of the nuts and bolts. So I'm going to go back to an old friend here, okay, and we've seen this analysis of aging in previous weeks, and so this time we're going to dive right in and look at economic preparation for retirement and things you have to consider. Okay, so the highlights of this, we're going to go ahead and click on this right here. Okay, again, this is the health and retirement study. So you'll see HRS as the acronym, boom, boom, HRS, throughout this paper. Okay, and we're going to scroll down to where we were told to go to, which is page 50 right there. Okay, and we're going to get down here. Okay, and we're at 30 and 50. And so really a lot of the graphics kind of summarize everything you need to know. It's, unfortunately there's some kind of shocking things, okay, that comes up right here. All righty. So when we look at this, we think about, what gerontologists always call the three-legged stool, and that's your Social Security income, which, believe it or not, also a substantial proportion of the population, that is their sole source of income. Pensions, we're talking about two different kinds. There's the traditional pension that government employees get, and then there's the other thing that's called the defined contribution that most of us have, what we have at USC, where you actually take a part of your income and invest it into a 401k, which is a tax deferred account. I'll pay taxes on it later when I'm older, making less money, so therefore hopefully I'll pay less taxes. Okay, and then of course private savings. Okay, that could be in another type of retirement account. It can just be a money market account. We also have in a sense income in terms of housing and stuff like that. So that's what that's all about. Okay, and the concept is you kind of in this chapters you have to kind of do a self-analysis of what you consider your expenses are going to be and how long you're going to live. And I think you've learned from this class that many of us are living a lot longer than anticipated, and the fear is that you're going to run out of these income sources. Okay, generally. You're going to be spending less money when you're older. So as you draw from these sources of income, again, like I said, you're going to be paying a lower tax rate. Okay, and again, it's considered an income, so you get taxed on it. What else has a diminished cost? Hopefully you guys have launched. Okay, so you're less expensive, right? And as you get older, you are less, you're not as mobile. You can't travel and things like that. And so there's just a shift in your economics, and that's what that's all about. Okay, but we kind of go through this statistics. Some are kind of surprising about average amounts and how well people are doing. We see this right in here. But we're going to see that in reality, you get into the nitty gritty. There are some again surprising distributions in terms of how poorly some people are doing. These are just some stats on expectations in the labor force. Again, you got to look at the age groups right here. So this is 51 to 56. So a majority of you will work. Just like right now, a majority of us are working. Okay, so this is a 2004 analysis. Okay, it is up even further now in 2018. And what we see is that In general, the biggest uptick is in women. Okay, so I'm sorry, I can't do it, but women are going way up in the workforce right here. Um, they're greater in terms of part-time, and tragically, we look at their earnings and they're far less. Okay, so just in case you're wondering, yes, women do earn less than men. This is Social Security earnings right there. Okay. Um, I want to get down a little bit further into the nitty gritty and look at kind of some aspects of expenditures and things like that. So this is getting into this concept of how you're saving for your retirement and what's out there. Um, and looking across the population in retirement age, we see that there's been a decline in this defined benefit. Okay, this is again what you get if you work for a city, a municipality, if you work for Congress, you work for the Senate, um, Department of Water. These are all government agencies, and they have a defined benefit. What that means is you firemen, policemen, when you retire, um, you're going to get a percentage of the income you were earning at the time of retirement, and it'll be doled out as kind of like an annual salary until the day you die. Okay. The problem with these defined benefits is they were originally set up, where people were living on average to maybe 62 years of age, and now as we start pushing the envelope towards 80, it's become too costly to support this defined benefits. This is a big deal in companies. They're shifting away from that to the defined contribution. This was what private corporations have for the most part now, and even government agencies are shifting to this. What this is I get my money, okay, so whatever my monthly salary is, and then I have the opportunity to take a proportion of my monthly salary and put it away into what's called a 401k. Okay, so a 401k is a special tax law definition in that I can put, as we'll see later on, a certain amount annually into that account. It is tax deferred, which means I put it away, so it reduces my taxable income for right now. Okay, and then sometimes my annual state and federal taxes. And then when I go about the process of using that money that I put into my 401k, it all depends on how much I draw that year out of it. That's what I get taxed on. So again, so my expenses should be less when I'm 75. So for that same money that I would have been taxed heavily when I was age 50, I'll be taxed far less when I'm age 80 because I'm not using as much. Okay. So those are the trends, but really the scary thing is across the population how few people have any type of coverage whatsoever. So we see here, roughly 30% of the population is pretty standard. The rest of the people are completely 100% dependent on other sources of income, which could either be their housing, and then the poorer parts of our population, they're looking at Social Security, and there's very little money in Social Security. Okay, this is wealth accumulated by households, which so much of this is wrapped up in terms of your housing. So for example, the house that I purchased for $430,000 is now worth $1.5 million. Okay, so that's my wealth that I can draw off of. Okay. We see right here that there is in general a decline in spending, not that much by singles, so it's interesting enough couples spend less. Okay, all right, and it's kind of a shared income thing. All righty, so we go through that, and then we can look right here, and that's 67. And what does 67 tell us? Okay, it tells us that we're done. Okay, so from there, then we get into the discussion. Okay, and so we come over here and we look at the discussion. Okay, and this week's discussion just talks about educating you guys in terms of Social Security, and understanding that it's really important to keep working and to not draw on Social Security. So my plan is to work till I'm 72. Okay, and that way I'm going to maximize my Social Security income, the amount of money I get per check. why not keep working? You become really, really bored to begin with if you're not working, and it's really, really good for my family. The other thing I have to consider is with my wife Julia having cancer. Um, I can't really. It would be a really bad choice to um, lose my health insurance through USC and go on to Medicare, okay, because she would not be covered by Medicare. Julie's 7 years younger than me, okay, so she's 55 right now, and then we would have to go out and purchase a separate health plan for her. It'd be really, really expensive, and especially with that condition of cancer, okay. So these are all things that you have to wrap your head around. Okay. Um, Speaking of healthcare costs, so I do want you guys to grasp the concept of Social Security and how important it is to not rely 100% on it and to use your other sources of income and tap into Social Security later on in life, okay? Because your benefit increases dramatically if you versus retiring at 62, 67, or 72. This right here is a really cool report. Um, and and what it does is and this is the actual URL, but you can look at the PDF file, and it just looks at the scary out-of-pocket expenses that happens as you get older. The amount of money that's going to uh, um, Medicare versus Social Security. Okay, I'm actually going to get out of this and I want to tap into the PDF file um, for you guys right here. Okay. Alrighty, and something I kind of wanted to show you that if you're ever searching around in this, so I just want you to get a grasp of these graphics and what they mean. The average out-of-pocket healthcare spending was a larger share of average Social Security income for women with Medicare. You see right here that when you get older, such a dramatic share of your income is going towards um, paying for healthcare issues. Okay, and so that's what this is all about. So just go ahead and take a look at that. I wanted to show you a little trick with PDF files. If you're just trying to find something, you download it as a PDF. Okay, my default is this web browser, but I would rather do Adobe Acrobat. And when you go into Adobe Acrobat and open, okay, so now you can search this document, and that's why I like this. Okay, so yeah, okay, now let it go. Yes, there's my wifey. Okay, so you come in here and you go to edit. Okay, you hit edit, sorry, and then you go to find, and then um, we can find things that are of interest to us in the document. So, for example, I can say Part A. Part A stands for hospital with an A. Okay, so that's your hospitalization. Okay, and see it highlights it right there. And if we go ahead and blow this up, you can see right there Part A has been highlighted. Okay, and if we go Part B of Medicare, okay, and we hit next, okay, it says Part B, okay, but what I need to do is go back to the top of the document, right here, and hit next, and okay, so there's Part B. So any kind of term that you want to search, you can search in Adobe Acrobat, okay. Part B stands for basic health insurance coverage. Part D stands for drug, okay. A, like the A in hospital, okay. B for basic healthcare coverage, and D for drugs, okay. There it is. All righty. So that's just a little hint there, okay. And I'm going to get out of here. We're getting to the very, very end of things here, guys. It's getting into the wheelhouse for business majors, econ majors. So I want you guys to have fun with this, and we'll see you next time.